Well, here we are again. It is game day. So while this is not really after the bell, so maybe we'll call this the pregame show. We're starting with, a bunch of analysts giving us their estimates of what's going to happen at the game today. And I gave some of these last night, but let me repeat the ones uh, that I have from last night, as well as add a few new ones. These are non-GAAP EPS for Q1 2024. We'll start. Larry Goldberg added his number in this morning. He's at 50 cents, but he suggests his estimate might be a bit off due to the poor tools that he has available to him while he's on vacation. Gary Black, excuse me, Gary Black, as noted last night, comes in with a 52. The analyst consensus, according to this particular list I found, is 51 cents. AJ came in at 57, AJ being optimistic. James Stevenson came in at a negative 2 cents. He's the outlier. Troy just came in a little while ago, just caught him before we came on air, and he comes in at 46 cents. And he claims that the analyst consensus is 48. So he must have found a different list than I did. Anyway, I thought I'd add to Troy the automotive gross margin he thinks is going to be down to 14.6. I didn't look at the gross margins on the other folks that are on the list here. That 14.6 would be low in my opinion, down from 17.2. I haven't done a lot of work on this, but I think that could provide a surprise on the upside. I don't know. I'm not thinking that it's as low as 14.6, but anyway, there you are. Pretty much we've got everybody kind of right around that 50 cents, 55. The range is 48, 46 as the low in the clump, 46 to 57. That's a pretty tight deal there. And then James Stevenson, of course, at negative 2 cents. So that's interesting, I think. Okay, Holmar's blog this morning. This guy must have stayed up pretty late last night because he posted this 3 hours, well, now 4 hours ago. And he says FSD 12.3.5 is unbelievably good. It just does almost every drive perfectly. Well, that's really good news. We got Musk this morning. James Dama on Elon Musk going all in on autonomy. I'm so happy that somebody has the resources, the guts, the fortitude to do it the right way. Man, how lucky we are. So it's Musk breaking. That's what it is. That's the name of the person who posted that. That's their handle. AJ has created a bunch of posts. I just didn't have time to go through them and call out the information from each one, but I want to say that he went through about, I don't know, 15 different companies, mostly Chinese companies, but also, well, Polestar, I guess, is Chinese now, I think. Anyway, went through a bunch of the different companies, and he showed that virtually every company and certainly every EV company had huge drops on unit sales in Q1, and many of them were much bigger than what Tesla saw. So, not to say that, I'm not looking for excuses for Tesla, just there was a really rough quarter in Q1. All right. Now, I mentioned this last night. Elon sent the entire marketing team, the brand new marketing team that was just assembled, he sent them packing, and he said it was due to them not being creative enough, that the videos that they were creating just weren't unique. They just weren't special. They could have been any car company. They just didn't get his juices flowing. I think maybe this is a microcosm of what's going on right now at Tesla. When you have as many things going on as Elon does, you got all these different things going on. You got to turn responsibility over to people and let them do their job. I refer to this in my company. I refer to this as hire the best and then turn them loose. It is a management style that I believe came most reliably from Ronald Reagan. He did exactly this, and I think that's how Elon does it also. He's probably a little more micromanagement oriented than some that believe in that style, but he has to. There's just too many things to be done. Anyway, I think that what's happened is there's two or three or four departments that Elon felt were not doing the job. They just weren't able to handle it. And I'm not saying that's necessarily true about the two vice presidents that left, but I will say that Elon has now decided he's in charge of these a couple of different groups. And what he's gonna do, he's gonna do something that he's extremely good at, which is go in and he's gonna assemble new teams, new leadership. He's going to make sure that that leadership understands the mission, understands the differences, at Tesla. So that probably means building some kind of a new marketing department. I'm just hoping that he hires, man, I can't tell you how excited I would be if he would hire an outside sales manager from some major company that, somebody that just really has a track record. I think that would just change everything. All right. So later today, this is Randy Kirk, by the way. If you haven't hit the like button yet, you know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, notify, all that stuff. Later today, probably going to do the Brian White video that we recorded yesterday. I haven't quite decided, but probably that will be out, especially since this one is so early. So maybe I'll put that up around 10 o'clock. And then, of course, we will be covering earnings. I'm going to do it a little. Well, okay, last time I tried to go right after the earnings call. I think I'm going to go back to my regular style. I'm going to wait an hour or so. I want to really feel like I've got it, that I understand it, that maybe I've heard, maybe even, probably listened to another broadcast from some of the competition for this show. By the way, the competition for the show is not my competition. It's just people that are doing the same thing. Anyway, listen to what's going on with those folks, and then come out just a little later, maybe a little deeper thinking. All right. From Teslarati this morning. Oh, by the way, hit Patreon if you'd like to go down and, just a thought, help support the show. Teslarati this morning. CarMax's spring 2024 electric vehicle consumer report has revealed that Tesla's two most popular vehicles, the Model Y crossover and the Model 3 sedan, are among the most popular EVs in the United States in the second-hand vehicle market. The Nissan Leaf, a veteran in the EV sector, also proved popular. CarMax is one of the United States' largest retailers of used automobiles. Thus, the company's data provides valuable insight into the country's used vehicle market. As per CarMax, in this report, consumer interest in used EVs has seen a notable rise since 2021. From the start of 21 to February 2024, monthly search volumes for electric vehicles in the U.S. saw a 177% increase. Our data analysis was very interested in EVs, and the sales were increasing, trending beyond the West Coast. Yeah, the availability of new models coupled with recent price cuts on new EVs may have contributed to ongoing interest from consumers considering making the switch from gas to electric, Liskey noted. By the way, I'm in Charlotte, as many of you know right now, North Carolina, dropped down into South Carolina for a minute yesterday. But as I traveled about 50 minutes each way on the round trip, going to visit an old friend, I saw more Teslas than I expected. I was quite surprised to see quite a few Teslas out there. All right. Here are some of the questions for the earnings report today. They collect those questions from shareholders that will be asked. I mean, these are the top questions. So here's what's going to be asked. So the number one question, the one that was voted number one, how many Cybertruck deliveries do you anticipate for 2024? This would not have been my top question. I think well, okay. And I'm not 100% sure they're going to give an answer, but that is the top question. I continue to think, 75 to 100,000. Maybe the ramp is a little slower as of April 5th. What are we, April 22nd? Than maybe I would have expected. 23rd. What is today? But it is, I still think they're going to make it. I think it'll still be way up there, 70, 75, maybe more. All right. Number two question. When do you expect Model 3 Highland to be available in the United States? So this is a weird question, and I can't imagine why it got so many votes. The Model 3 Highland is already available in the United States. The question probably should be changed. I hope it's changed before they do it. What we really want to know is, when will the performance be out? The real question is, when will the Model Y, upgrade be available? Anyway, How did it get so many votes? It's a ridiculous question. Anyway, All right. The next question was, can you provide a progress update on the 4680 cell, particularly the progress towards performance improvements and cost savings? Yeah, again, not the question I would have asked. I want to know, when do they think they're going to hit 100 gigawatts of production, annualized. I'm hoping that's by the end of the year. Boy, the questions this year are horrible. Okay, what's the next one? Could you please provide an update on capacity expansion plans for the company's factories in Berlin and Austin, and the expected opening of Gigafactory Mexico? I would have added Reno. Man, these are horrible questions. Anyway, this is sad. Oh, uh, all right, next question. Why was the price dropped on full self-driving if it's getting better and robotaxi is expected to launch soon? Okay, that's all right. Not horrible. Institute Mercedes is accepting legal liability for its level 3 autonomous driving systems, obviously only when it's engaged. Oh yeah, it says here is active. Is Tesla planning to accept legal liability for FSD, and if so, when? Well, that's a pretty good question. I'd like to have the answer to that question, but the truth is, as Warren pointed out one day, uh, they don't have to accept it. So I think it's a wise move uh, to make the statement, but they don't have to accept the legal liability. When that car is driving on its own and the company says that you can get in the back seat and take a nap, then Tesla will have legal liability no matter what Tesla says. All right, the last question. These questions are not great. The sell side this is a better one. I would make this higher in the list, and I would have had very different questions. The sell side is expecting 2.3 million vehicles in 2024. Is this growth rate achievable without any mass market launches in 2024? What is the Cybertruck? If it's not, well, it was launched in 2023. Yeah, right. Like 12 vehicles. And when does Tesla expect to return to its 50% long-term CAGR? I like that question a lot. All right, this is breaking just as we started to go up this morning. General Motors released their quarter one results, and they lifted their full year guidance. They increased their EPS guidance from $8.50 to $9.50. I'm sorry, it was $8.50 to $9 to $9 to $10, so a 50-cent increase. GM is also updating its 2024 full year's earnings guidance. Let's see. I'm sorry. I don't. That's all I got. So they've updated their guidance. Gary, blackout. The China numbers just came in. So the China numbers for April 15th to 21st were a weak 5.2 thousand. After 3 weeks, Tesla's China is now at negative 41% quarter over quarter and down 12% year over year. And also, these might be preliminary, he says. All right. So, good news and bad news this morning in terms of Tesla, and let's see what it has done to the stock, even though we are well below or well before the opening bell. Let's see where we came in. We're now pre-market is down 10 cents. Okay, so this is not the correct. I'm sorry, I have the wrong thing entirely. Here we go. Wow. Okay, pre-market now. Pre-market, am I looking at this right? Pre-market down $5.95 to 141. So I don't know why that seems wrong. I am trying. I am again. I just have to apologize. Just the app did not refresh correctly. So let's do this again. Didn't mean to scare you. The Tesla has been up almost all morning in the pre-market, about a half a buck. So we're sitting at 142.05. So I say it'll be sideways all day unless there's none of the news that I read this morning. Some of the news was good, some was bad. Nothing. I don't think anything was necessarily going to move the stock. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the pre-market. I know there's a couple of big surprises in the pre-market this morning, so let's start with the bonds. We have the bonds right now. The 10-year is unchanged, two tenths of a basis point up. 2-year though is 2.2 basis points up, which is starting to widen that inversion again. We have, which is continuous. That was last night and this morning again. The 2-month, however, is only a 0.1% of a basis point. I'm sorry, 1%. No, never mind. I can't do it. Brain dead. It's too early. It's basically unchanged at 5.399. And now the 10-year is also unchanged at 4.623. I didn't say that a minute ago. All right, let's go on to the oil. The oil is sitting at this morning. We have got the oil down 20 cents, 81.70. Brent at 86.85. So both of those have come off quite a bit off of their highs. Natural gas also a bit off this morning, $1.78, just barely down this morning. Gold has dropped dramatically, another $28. So I should. So this is one of those deals. I think gold just got way too far out there. I think that the S&P and all the equities are also too far out there. I think they're, as you know, going to come back down to a 10% off. Gold, I think, will find its number here fairly soon and will solidify and maybe start headed back up again. Lots of evidence that there's going to be increased price on gold. We've got copper this morning sitting a little bit off at $4.42, down 1.2% this morning. And we have got the dollar flat, but up, strongly up, continuing. Some people are saying there's going to be a crash in the dollar. Well, man, it's so high compared to normal. That could also happen. We have got the Bitcoin off this morning after being up strongly yesterday, sitting at 66,107, down 289 right now. Okay, here's the equities. You've got the Dow up 101, or 0.26%. You've got the S&P up 16, or 0.32%, and NASDAQ up 60, or 0.35%. So all three kind of in a range. Okay, it's that time again where we talk about what you need to do. You need to hit the like button. You need to subscribe. The subscriptions have been going crazy. So thank you. Probably a lot of new folks coming in. The numbers have been extremely high the last couple of days. I'm hoping that's because the show is just getting better and better, but maybe it's because of earnings. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, like next Monday. We got the PCE later this week. We've got earnings this afternoon. So many things coming up. I think you want to hit notify, but mostly you want to hit notify just because Brian White and I have such a grand time. And you're going to want to watch that in a couple of hours, a few hours, a few. And then, Patreon, you want to do that. And is that all? I think, if you missed yesterday's Brian White video, I'll put that right up here because it was hilarious. I don't know if anybody learned anything from it, but there was a lot of comments. I'm not sure we've ever had so much commentary, and it was because of the comedy. That's what it was. It's a regular laugh riot. Okay, that's all I got for you. It's been great talking to you.